What's up, guys? My name is Andrew Erickson, aka The Props Prophet, and today I'm coming at you with my favorite player props for NFL Week 15. But before we look to build that bankroll, you want a chance to win a premium one-year subscription to Betting Pros, your place to start betting smarter and not harder. All you have to do is subscribe to the Betting Pros YouTube channel right now, comment below in this video, and that is it. We're announcing a winner right here on the channel. So make sure to turn on those notifications so you can be alerted when new episodes are up and to claim your prize. Now, let's get to the best player props for NFL Week 15. Let's go. Starting off, guys, it's December. You know what that means. D-Hember is here. Derrick Henry over 66.5 rushing yards. I mean, what's more to say when it comes to the big dog rushing yardage props? He's gone over this number in all 6 of his home games played this season, rushing for no less than 76 yards in any game played in Nashville, Tennessee. Continue to ride the big dog into the green in December against the Houston Texans, who, you know, Derrick Henry has a thing or two about rushing for over 200 yards against this defense. Derrick Henry over. Let's go. Next up, another over here that I like. Bijan Robinson, running back for the Falcons, over 2.5 receptions. Look, I like the overs on Bijan as rushing yardage prop, 64.5, but honestly, the receptions is the way I like to go here. He's gone over this number in 3 straight games. The average on the season is 3.1 catches per game. And when he faced the Panthers back in week 1, he caught all 6 of his targets for 27 yards. So last week, he was super involved in the passing game, 5 catches for 54 yards on 7 targets. His workload continues to increase with Arthur Smith. I like Bijan Robinson a lot to continue to ride his receptions prop. So I'm going over 2.5 catches for Bijan Robinson in this matchup against the Panthers. Same matchup, other side of the field, Bryce Young over 2.5 rushing attempts for the quarterback for Carolina. And this one comes straight from the Betting Pros prop bet cheat sheet. You go check that out over on bettingpros.com. It's the #1 rated plus EV bet on the Sunday slate of games. And it's for good reason. Young has gone over 2.5 rushes in 5 of his last 7 games. And since the Panthers bye week, he has rushed at least twice in all but 1 game. So the projections have him for 3.6 rushing attempts, and the Falcons on average are facing 5 rushing attempts per game from opposing quarterbacks. So Bryce Young has not been profitable to bet on in many of his other categories in passing yardage or anything like that, but over a rushing, because he's always running for his life, yes, you can sign me up for that. Another over here, don't worry guys, I'm okay. Saquon Barkley over 67.5 rushing yards over on DraftKings Sportsbook, -115. The Giants can and will be able to run the ball with Saquon Barkley versus the New Orleans Saints. And it's a key part of how the Giants can pull off the upset against the Saints. Again, if you check out some of our older podcasts on the Betting Pros channel, we love the Giants this week. +6, +220 on Giants on the money line. But again, back to Saquon. The Saints have allowed the league's most rushing yards to running backs over the last 4 weeks, averaging 5.1 yards per carry faced. And given the Giants are going to have a run-heavy approach, I actually like correlating the Barkley rushing yardage with Tommy DeVito under passing attempts, which his line is set at 27.5 pass attempts. He's not going over this number at any point during the season in his last 5 starts. Another under here, or the first under here, Bree Hall under 43.5 rushing yards. So I really like the under here on the Jets running back. He's hit the under in his last 5 games and the under in 7 of his last 8 games played, as the Jets really cannot run the football effectively in any way. Breece Hall got to just 25 yards last week, or the last time he faced the Dolphins, and last week he was actually out-carried by Dalvin Cook, 4-5 in the first half. So Hall ended up having more carries in the game with 10 carries for 40 rushing yards versus Cook's 13 yards and 7 attempts. But the team is still like using Dalvin Cook a lot, especially on early downs, where Breece Hall, I mean, similar to like an Austin Eckler type player, like his value is solely tied to his role as a receiver. He's doing nothing as a rusher. So given the tough matchup against the Dolphins, I'm fading Breece Hall and his rushing yardage. The Dolphins' defense is really good against the run. 5th best defense versus running backs over the last 4 weeks in terms of rushing yards allowed to running backs. They're allowing the league's lowest explosive run rate at 5.3%. So Breece Hall, you're always afraid, okay, maybe he rips off a big one. Not likely going to be the case against the Miami Dolphins, who are allowing the fewest rushes over 10 yards this season. My favorite prop in my Patriots game against the Chiefs. This is what I'm rooting for hard, because I can't root for the Patriots to win anymore because I know they're always going to lose. But this is what I'm going to be cheering for hard on Sunday as I watch the game. I was supposed to go to this game, but it got moved. It got booted from Monday Night Football to Sunday at 1, and now I can't go. So you know what? I got to get my money back somehow. CEH under 45.5 rushing yards. The Patriots are the #1 defense versus the run this year, allowing 3.3 yards per carry to opposing running backs. I'm taking the under on the Chiefs running back props. Edwards-Helaire, the line opened at 45.5 yards. And again, last week against a horrible Bills run defense, he only got 39 rushing yards. In spot start duty with Isaiah Pacheco out of the lineup, this one's an easy underplay for me as he continues to split work with Jerick McKinnon. Edwards-Helaire is not that great of a running back. It's a horrible matchup. Easy under here. Another under I really like is actually in this Commanders-Rams game, and the player props in that game are mostly going to be overs. You know, you talk to Joe Pisapia, he loves the Rams more than he loves his own children this week, potentially. But for me, I'm going to fade one of these Rams receivers who's kind of popped up over the last couple weeks, Demarcus Robinson, under 3.5 receptions. Look, I love the Stafford props, the Puka Nacua, the overs on all those guys, but I'm going to fade Robinson into oblivion here. It took him 10 targets last week to catch 3 passes. So I just don't think that the volume is going to be there for him again, even in a great matchup, because he's a fringe player. When in doubt, when you're betting on some of these fringe guys, you just got to bet the unders on them. You know, I learned my lesson. I was betting on Hunter Renfrow overs on Thursday night. That was horrible. He's a fringe player. Don't have confidence that these fringe players are going to deliver, even if they have somewhat of a track record. The fact that Robinson, it took him 10 targets, again, to get to 3 catches last week, it's not going to happen 2 weeks in a row for me. I don't think he's going to see that volume again. So I also love the under on his receiving yards, which is set at 36.5 receiving yards this week. Definitely my stone cold lock of the week, James Conner, under 9.5 receiving yards. Conner's been losing out on targets in the passing game to the likes of Mari Darmacado, Michael Carter throughout the season. He's not playing on third downs, and he's not a locked and loaded 3-down running back. He's ceding snaps, again, on third down to the other guys. And he's gone over this number 1 time in 9 games played this season. Empty the clip on James Conner, under 9.5 receiving yards in Week 15 against the 49ers. Speaking of the 49ers, George Kittle, under 3.5 receptions. The Arizona Cardinals are allowing the 4th fewest receptions to tight ends this season. Again, guys, I don't know why I can't say receptions. I'm struggling with it, but we're going to power through. Kittle has 3.5 more catches in just 2 games played this season alongside a healthy Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. With those guys both healthy in Week 4 against the Cardinals, Kittle only caught 1 pass for 9 yards. So in the target pecking order, Kittle usually falls to the wayside for guys like Ayuk and Deebo when they're healthy. So even if he gets there on yardage, which is kind of what he does, he generates a lot of big plays. Given the bad matchup for tight ends specifically, not really the offense, I just think that you're going to find these other players be productive in the offense, not necessarily Kittle. So he's going to go under his receptions prop here in Week 15. Last but not least, Tony Pollard, over 51.5 rushing yards, -120 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Just love the Tony Pollard rushing yards prop this week for the Cowboys offense. Look, he's been on heater after a slow start to the year. He's gone over 51.5 rushing yards in 5 straight games, and for 51 or more in 7 straight games. The Bills' run defense is allowing the league's 3rd highest explosive run rate at 12.8%. A lot of people like Dallas to win outright. I know they are slight road underdogs, but still we should see a back and forth contest. Don't think they're going to have to abandon the run, and that's where the Bills are weakest, is against the run. So I think you're going to see a little bit more of Tony Pollard being leaned on the road. I love the over here on Tony Pollard. And that's going to tie a bow on my favorite player props for NFL Week 15. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. Be sure to follow me over on the Betting Pros app to check out all my bets for NFL Week 15. From sides, from totals, from player props, they're all there. Feel free to tail them. Feel free to fade them. Do whatever feels right. And also be sure to check out over on the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel, my prize picks video. Every single week, I do an early prize picks video looking at my favorite player props on prize picks. So if you enjoyed this video, you're going to like that as well. That's over on the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel. But before you go, if you want a chance to win a premium 1-year subscription to Betting Pros, your place to start betting smarter and not harder. All you have to do is subscribe to the Betting Pros YouTube channel right now, comment below on this video, and that is it. Announcing a winner right here on the channel. So make sure to turn on those notifications so you can be alerted when new episodes are up and to claim your prize. Thanks for watching, and good luck in Week 15.